Hey everybody, it's Beth from Yoga and Reiki Bliss, and I'm popping in today with a brief practice to help us strengthen and mobilize our hips. And we're thinking 360 degrees around the hips. So hip flexors, the muscles that bring the knee toward the chest or fold your chest to your knee, your hip extensors, the ones that lift your legs up, like you might in Warrior Three, our hip abductors, the ones that move the thighs out to the sides, and the hip adductors, the ones that bring the legs in. So we're just trying to bring a little mobility and strength to those areas, certainly to help our asana practice feel better in our bodies, but also for things like walking, running, balancing, right? We need strong, stable hips as well as mobile hips. So for our practice, we really just need some space. I have a blanket under under my knees. I've got some blocks too, just in case, but really you just need some space and of course your body. So let's hop on the mat. And we're going to start in table actually, on hands and knees. And as you set this up, we're going to try to keep the hips right over the knees. We're going to walk the hands as wide as your shoulders so that you feel really spacious. I've been thinking of the hands, the outer pinky edge and the outer shoulder lining up, so my collarbones and chest feel spacious. And then even walking the hands a little forward so that the fronts of the shoulders are right over the undersides of the wrists. So you really get the support of this nice, long, strong arm. And so when you inhale, let's lift the tail, lift the heart, cow pose. You know our basic cow pose, right? And then when you exhale, we'll curl and round into cat and let the whole spine flex from the pelvis through the head. Let's do that again. Inhale, we'll lift the tail, lift the heart. Keep a little push of the ground away. And as you exhale, we'll curl and round. Now we're just going to add on here. We'll inhale and lift the tail, lift the heart. And then when you exhale, we're going to bring your left knee towards your chest or even towards your nose. So everything is rounding in here. Then when you inhale, outstretch your left leg straight behind you, your head straight in front of you. So not going into cow, going more into a neutral place. Then exhale, knee to nose. Everything curls in. So those hip flexors really hugging that thigh up. Inhale, extend your leg behind you, stretch your head forward. And exhale, hug in. Inhale, outstretch. Now take your toes to the ground tucked under, bring your right leg to meet it. We'll come into plank. And even here, you can add in a slight tail tuck to activate your lower abs. Take one breath in, and either with your knees bent to the ground or straight leg, bend your elbows and lower to your belly. Now when you inhale, go ahead and roll your shoulders a little in and down your back, lift your heart. And then keep that lift and give a little flutter kick of your legs with your knees straight. So again, just trying to work through those hip extensors, your glute muscles, and then lower everything down. Take a breath in, and when you exhale, we'll push up to table, coming right back up. Now we're going to kick into a little old school Jane Fonda moment. We're going to lift your left leg out to the side like a fire hydrant and hug it back in. Now, when you lift it up, I'd like you to keep your pelvis and your spine pretty stable. So we're not sinking in to the right hip. We're not letting the pelvis rotate, trying to keep things stable. So to bring in a teaching of Svadhyaya, self-study, where is the limit to this movement? Where do you need to stop before you either collapse into your right hip or your pelvis starts to twist? Let's do one more. And then we'll come back to table. Take a breath in, lift your tail, lift your heart. As you exhale, curling around and bring your right knee in toward your nose. Inhale, extend your right leg and your head away. Again, only thinking about neutral, not so much cow. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, reach back as you reach forward and hug in. Now extend your right leg, tap the toes to the earth, bring your left leg to meet it. We're in plank. And then again, you can lower either with the knees down or in one straight line. When you inhale, Draw your shoulder blades in and down your back. Lift your heart. As you exhale, little flutter kick of your legs. Find a breath in. And exhale, lower everything down. Again, enjoy an inhale. And when you exhale, let's push up to table. And then we're going to take that right knee and thigh out to the side and hug it in. Again, only bringing it to the height that you can, where your pelvis and your spine can stay neutral, side to side, and even within that rotational feel. Let's do one more. Then place your knee down. Let's do that whole little sequence again. Inhale, lift your tail, lift your heart. Exhale, curl and round, left knee in. Outstretch your left leg and your head away from each other. Exhale, hug in it. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, shoulder blades in and away from your ears, lift your heart. Exhale, you can flutter kick or you can lift your two straight legs. And then lower everything down. Invite a breath in. And when you exhale, press up. We're back in table. We're coming back to those fire hydrants. Wonderful. Keep it going. If you need to do fewer than 6, do fewer. Do them skillfully. It's more important to work the action skillfully than it is the repetition. We'll take one more. Now, the next time you lift your leg, keep it there and step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee, and then we'll step the right foot wide of the right hand. So we've got a bit of a squat here. Go ahead, press into your heels, sweep out and rise all the way up. We're going to keep the feet a little on the wide side and bend your knees. And if your feet feel too wide, certainly narrow them. Mine are about hips width. Well, that's where I'm going to bring them. And again, we'll bend the knees and sit back. Let's do one more squat. Inhale, press up through those heels. Bend your knees and sit back. Now here, let's take the hands to prayer at your heart and spread your mat with your feet, right? You really can't spread it, but imagine you could. See if you can sense those outer hips. Take one more breath, and then we'll fold on over. And here's where you might decide to have your block or your fingertips. Inhale, lift your chest halfway up. Shift the weight into your right heel. Pick your left leg up like a warrior 3. Take one breath in, and bend your right knee. Take it into your lunge. Let's meet in a plank, and then place the knees on the ground. Let's go back to the beginning. Inhale, lift your tail, lift your heart. Exhale, hug your right knee in towards your nose. Inhale, extend your right leg away. Exhale, knee to nose. Right toes and head move far away and hug them in. Now let's extend into plank. And when you're ready to exhale, bend your elbows, lower down. Breathe in, shoulder blades in and down your back, lift your heart. You can flutter kick or just extend the legs. Either way is great. Take one more inhale and lower everything down. Enjoy your inhale. And when you exhale, push up to table. From your table, let's take the right thigh out to the right in those little fire hydrants and hug it in. And pelvis, spine, neutral. We're going to try for 2 more. Again, better to do fewer well than many sloppily. Now, the next time you take your right leg out to the right, step it forward to the outside of your right hand. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee. Let's take that lunge. And then we'll step the left foot just wide of the left hand. Root into your heels. Sweep out, rise up. I'm going to step my feet a little closer. Again, just maybe as wide as my hips. bend the knees. And if your toes need to turn out a little bit in that squat, that's okay. Inhale, come on up. Bend your knees and sit back. I'm reaching my arms forward to sort of counterbalance my hips back. One more time. We'll bend the knees and sit back. Now breathe your hands to your heart. Again, spread your mat with your feet. Take one more breath in. And then when you exhale, fold on over, maybe your hands to the ground or to your blocks. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway, your chest reaching forward. Shift the weight into your left foot. Pick your right leg straight up like warrior three. Take one more breath in, then bend your knee and come into a lunge. Let's step into plank and place your knees on the ground. Fantastic. Now come on down to sit, if you will. And if you've got your blanket and you want to use it, you can. If you don't have a blanket, don't sweat it. I'm going to use mine. I'm just going to fold it up a bit more. And I'm going to come to sit right on the corner of it, so that when I come to sit, my thighs aren't too supported, right? My pelvis is a little higher, but my thighs are not getting bunched up. And then I'm going to use my blocks. If you've got blocks, great. You could put something else there, a sweater. You could choose nothing. I like having something so that I don't cheat. And here's where we're going to go. Your hands can stay on the ground. You can have one hand between your knees and one hand behind you. You can have your two hands to your hips or to the outsides of your hips. We're going to lift the right leg up and over the block or whatever is there, and then lift it up and over to come back. So here we are working those hip flexors, which can often get tight when we sit, but also weak. So we also need to have some strength, and this is a great way to start. Now, if doing this is challenging, which it is, you could just work on lifting and lowering in place. Wherever you are, we're going to just do two more. So either lift and lower in place or lift up and over and back. Great. Let's change legs. So you can start by lifting your left leg up and lowering right in place, or you can lift up and over your block. Obviously, the higher, or maybe not so obviously, once you try it, you'll know, the higher the block, the harder it is, because you've got to clear that space. We're going to do two more if you can. You can always stop. And as you continue to work on this, build the strength to do this. Great. Now, take your blocks out of the way. Keep them close. Bring the soles of your feet together. Press into your hands. Mine are on the sides of my hips. I'm up on my fingertips. I'm going to lift my hips up. I'm going to scooch my pelvis toward my heels, just a little, and I come off my blanket. I'm going to walk my feet forward quite a bit. Again, I'm going to lift my hips and bring them closer to my heels. One more time, I'm going to slide my feet forward. I'm going to lift my hips to come meet my feet. Now I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to lift my hips and move my pelvis back. I'm going to bring my heels closer to my pelvis. I'm going to lift up, slide back, hug them in. And one more, and I've made my way back to my blanket, which is great because I'd like to do this whole little sequence again. So again, you can start with lifting and lowering straight up, however many times you can. A little effort, a little difficulty is fine, but not in a forceful way, right? We'll take our other teaching, Shtiram's, I can't speak today, Sthira Sukhasasanam, right? Every pose, steady, but easeful. So a little effort is fine, but not so much that you can't breathe, that you can't do the situation, the movement with feel and some ease behind it. We're going to do one more on this side if you can. And then we'll do the other leg. Again, it could be lifting and lowering or lifting it up and over the block. Might be interesting to notice if one side feels stronger than the other. In that case, I might do, like my left side felt a little bit weaker than my right. So I might do some extras on this side separately. We're going to do one more. Terrific. All right, clear your block. Soles of the feet towards each other, but not too close because you got to go forward. So go ahead, press into your hands, your fingertips. You could conceivably use blocks and lift up and over. Slide your feet forward, bring your hands forward. Pelvis to heels. Slide the heels forward one more time. Pelvis to heels. Now press into your hands, lift your hips up, slide them back. Bring your heels back, and we'll try to keep that Baddha Konasana, that external rotation through the thighs to whatever degree that happens. One more time. Move the pelvis back. Bring your heels to your pelvis. Good. Gather your legs together. Have a moment in Sukhasana just to sit or any pose of ease for you. Come back to your breath. And notice how your hips feel, and even notice the awareness you have around now your hips 360 degrees. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you liked this practice today. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it with your friends and community. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube page, please do so. And to find out more about where I'm teaching and check out other videos that I have, you can look at my YouTube page, but you can also visit my website, thisisyourbliss.com. All right, friends, have a terrific day. I will see you soon. Thanks.